The rehearsal dinner was perfect. It was the kind of evening that Instagram filters were made for. The venue was the Sterling Vineyard in Napa Valley. Golden hour sunlight drenched the rolling hills in amber. Long farmhouse tables were set with white linens, eucalyptus garlands, and enough crystal glassware to shatter the sound barrier. Maya sat at the head of the table, clutching a glass of champagne. She was 28, radiant in a white silk cocktail dress, her dark hair cascading in waves. To her right sat Caleb. Caleb was the American dream packaged in a tuxedo. 30 years old, an investment banker, jawline sharp enough to cut glass, and a smile that had charmed Maya's strict father within 5 minutes of meeting him. To Maya's left sat Jessica. Jessica was the maid of honor, Maya's best friend since the 3rd grade. They had shared chickenpox, prom dates, college dorms, and now this. Jessica was crying. She was giving a toast. "Maya," Jessica choked out, holding her glass high. "You are the sister I never had. Seeing you this happy, with a man as amazing as Caleb, it restores my faith in love. I love you both so much." The table applauded. Caleb squeezed Maya's hand. "She's sweet," he whispered in Maya's ear. "A bit dramatic, but sweet." Maya smiled. "She loves us." The night wound down around 11 p.m. The guests retreated to their hotel rooms. Maya and Caleb went to the bridal suite, a sprawling room with a 4-poster bed and a balcony overlooking the vines. "I'm going to hop in the shower," Caleb said, kissing her forehead. "Don't fall asleep. It's our last night as single people." "I'll be waiting," Maya said. She sat on the edge of the bed, removing her earrings. She felt a profound sense of peace. The planning was done. The $80,000 budget had been spent. Tomorrow she would be Mrs. Caleb Thorne. Buzz! Caleb's phone, sitting on the nightstand, vibrated. The screen lit up. Maya glanced at it. She wasn't suspicious, she was just looking. The notification was from a number saved as "Do Not Answer." That was odd. Caleb was a banker. He got spam calls, sure, but "Do Not Answer"? That felt specific. Then a preview of the text message flashed on the lock screen. "Do not answer. He's in the shower? Good. I can't stop thinking about your hands on me yesterday. I feel sick watching her pretend to be the perfect bride. Just tell me you love me again. I need to hear it before you say 'I do' to that bore." Maya froze. The world didn't spin. It didn't blur. It stopped. Complete, absolute stillness. Watching her pretend. Yesterday? Maya reached out. Her hand was trembling so violently she almost dropped the phone. She knew Caleb's passcode. 10-24-18, the day they met. She typed it in. The phone unlocked. She didn't go to the texts immediately. She went to the recently deleted folder. There they were. Hundreds of them. She scrolled. The timestamps were a horror movie timeline. Yesterday, 2 p.m., while Maya was at her final dress fitting. Last week, while Maya was writing her vows. Last month, during the bachelor party. She opened one of the messages. "Caleb, don't worry, babe, she's just the wife. You're the spark. She's safe. You're dangerous. I need safe for the public image. I need you for everything else. Do not answer. I hate her, Caleb. I hate smiling at her. Caleb, just get through the wedding. Once we're married, I control the assets. I'll buy you that condo in the city. We'll have our spot." Maya felt bile rise in her throat. She looked at the contact details for "Do Not Answer." She clicked Info. The number. She knew that number. She had dialed it 1,000 times since 3rd grade. It was Jessica. her maid of honor, the woman who had just cried tears of joy at the dinner table. The bathroom door handle jiggled, the water stopped. Maya's instinct was to scream, to throw the phone through the window, to burn the hotel down. But then she saw another text. Caleb, she's so gullible. She thinks I'm Prince Charming. It's almost sad how easy it is to manipulate her. Gullible, sad. Something cold snapped into place in Maya's chest. The grief evaporated, replaced by a razor-sharp, icy rage. He thought she was stupid. He thought she was a prop in his life. If she screamed now, the wedding would be off. He would spin a story. He would say she was crazy or insecure. He would minimize it. He would walk away with his reputation intact, just a failed engagement. No, Maya thought, I paid for this wedding. I paid for the venue. I paid for the food. I paid for the audience. She put the phone back on the nightstand, exactly as it was. She stood up, walked to the balcony, and took a deep breath of the cool night air. Caleb walked out, a towel wrapped around his waist, smelling of cedar and expensive soap. "Ready for bed?" he asked, flashing that $1,000,000 smile. Maya turned. She frowned up. It patrons of her mouth. It was the smile of a predator who had just set a trap. "More than ready," she said. "I was just thinking about tomorrow. It's going to be a day none one will ever forget." Sleep was impossible. Maya lay perfectly still next to the man who had murdered her heart. She listened to his breathing, deep, even, untroubled. He slept like a baby because he had no conscience. While he slept, Maya worked. She waited until 3 a.m. She quietly took his phone again. She went to the bathroom and locked the door. She took photos of the texts, all of them. The explicit ones, the cruel ones, the ones mocking her body, her intelligence, her family. Then she did something crucial. She emailed the photos to herself. She printed them using the Hotel Business Center app, connected to the lobby printer. She returned the phone. The next morning, the sun rose over Napa Valley. It was a glorious, insulting blue sky. "Morning, beautiful," Caleb said, stretching. "Today's the day." "Yes," Maya said, getting out of bed. "It certainly is." There was a knock on the door. It was Jessica. She breezed in, wearing a silk robe that matched Maya's, holding 2 mimosas. "Rise and shine, bride-to-be," Jessica squealed. She hugged Maya. Maya felt Jessica's skin against hers. It made her skin crawl. She wanted to vomit. She wanted to strangle her. Instead, Maya hugged her back, hard. "I'm so glad you're here, Jess," Maya said. "I couldn't do this without you. You're indispensable." Jessica pulled back, smiling. "That's what best friends are for. Now come on, hair and makeup is waiting. We have to make you look perfect for Caleb." For Caleb. "You're right," Maya said. "Let's make sure Caleb gets exactly what he deserves." The getting ready process was a blur of hairspray and false eyelashes. Maya sat in the chair, staring at herself in the mirror. She looked beautiful. The makeup artist had done a flawless job. She looked like a porcelain doll. "You seem quiet," Jessica said, fastening the buttons on the back of Maya's dress. "Nervous?" "Focused," Maya said. "Well, don't worry. Caleb sent a gift." Jessica handed Maya a small black velvet box. Maya opened it. Diamond earrings. Expensive. Tasteful. And a note. "To my forever. I can't wait to start our life. C." Maya looked at the earrings. He's so romantic, Jessica sighed, a hint of jealousy in her voice that Maya had never noticed before, but now rang like a siren. He certainly knows how to play the part, Maya said. She put the earrings in. Okay, ladies, the wedding coordinator clapped her hands. 5 minutes to curtain. Guests are seated. Groom is at the altar. Maya stood up. She picked up her bouquet. It was white peonies, her favourite. But hidden inside the bouquet, tucked between the stems where no one could see, was a folded stack of papers. Her father walked in, a stern, loving man who had written a cheque for $40,000 to make this day happen. You look stunning, sweetheart, he said, tearing up. Thanks, Dad. Are you happy? He asked. Maya looked him in the eye. Dad, I promise you, today is going to be the most honest day of my life. The music started. Canon in D. Classic. The doors of the winery chapel opened. The guests stood. 150 people. Friends from college. Caleb's arrogant finance buddies. Maya's elderly aunts. Her boss. And at the end of the aisle, Caleb. He looked devastatingly handsome. He was tearing up. He wiped a tear from his eye as he saw her. Acting, Maya thought. He should be in Hollywood. She walked down the aisle. Her father gripped her arm. She looked at the guests. She saw their smiles. They saw a fairy tale. Maya saw a courtroom. She reached the altar. Her father kissed her cheek and placed her hand in Caleb's. Caleb's hand was warm. He squeezed her fingers. You look incredible, he mouthed. Maya didn't smile. She just stared at him. A deep, unblinking stare that unsettled him for a microsecond. To her left stood Jessica, adjusting Maya's train, playing the dutiful best friend. The priest began. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. The words washed over Maya. She wasn't listening. She was waiting. To join this man and this woman in holy matrimony. The service continued. Prayers were said. Readings were read about love being patient and kind. Finally, the moment arrived. Caleb and Maya have written their own vows, the priest announced. Caleb, you may begin. Caleb pulled a small card from his pocket. He cleared his throat. He looked at Maya with adoring eyes. Maya, he began, his voice thick with emotion. From the moment I met you, I knew. You are my compass. You are my light. You are the kindest, most pure soul I have ever known. I promise to protect you, to honor you, and to be faithful to you for as long as we both shall live. I love you more than words can say. A collective "Aw" went through the crowd. Jessica wiped a tear. That was beautiful, the priest said. Maya? The room went silent. Maya handed her bouquet to Jessica. Hold this, she said. Jessica took the flowers, looking confused. Maya reached into the top of her dress, where she had transferred the folded papers, and pulled them out. She unfolded them. They crinkled in the microphone. She took a deep breath. She looked at Caleb. Then she looked at the crowd. I had prepared vows, Maya said into the microphone. Her voice was steady, crystal clear. I wrote about how much I loved Caleb, about how I thought he was my soulmate. She paused. But last night I received a gift of truth. And I think truth is more important than poetry. Caleb frowned. His smile faltered. Maya, he whispered, What are you doing? So instead of my vows, Maya continued, turning to address the audience, I am going to read a few text messages. Messages sent between my future husband and my maid of honor. The air left the room. It was instant, suffocating silence. Jessica dropped the bouquet. It hit the floor with a soft thud. Caleb's face went white. He reached for the microphone. Maya, stop. You're upset. Let's talk about this outside. Maya stepped back, keeping the mic. No, she said sharply. Everyone is here. Let's share. She looked at the first paper. Sent yesterday at 2:14 p.m., Maya read. Caleb, I can't wait to see her walk down the aisle, so I can imagine it's you. Her body is fine, but she's boring in bed. She's just a placeholder until I get the promotion. A gasp rippled through the crowd. Maya's mother stood up, hand over her mouth. Maya, please, Jessica screamed. It's not what it looks like. Maya turned to Jessica. She looked at her best friend with a coldness that could freeze hell. Sent 2 days ago, Maya read, looking at Jessica. Jessica, I hate watching her be happy. When are you going to leave her? And the reply, Maya continued. Caleb, give it a year. Once we're married, I'll have access to her trust fund. We use her money to buy the house. Then I divorce her, take half, and we're set. The crowd erupted. Maya's father was charging up the aisle. Caleb's mother looked like she was having a stroke. Caleb lunged for Maya. Give me that! Maya's father, a 60-year-old ex-Marine, intercepted him. He didn't punch him. He just shoved Caleb hard enough that the groom stumbled back into the floral arrangement, knocking over a vase of water. Don't you touch her, her father growled. Caleb scrambled up, his tuxedo wet. The mask was gone. The Prince Charming was gone. In his place was a cornered rat. She's crazy, Caleb yelled to the crowd. She typed those. It's fake. Maya laughed. It was a dark, hollow sound. I have the screenshots, Caleb. I emailed them to your boss. I emailed them to your mother. And I emailed them to every single person in this room. Check your phones. As if on cue, 100 phones chimed in the audience. It was the sound of a reputation dying. Caleb looked at the crowd. He saw his boss checking his BlackBerry, frowning. He saw his friends looking at him with disgust. He looked at Jessica. Jessica was sobbing, mascara running down her face, ruining her $300 makeup. She tried to reach for Maya's arm. Maya, I'm sorry. He made me. He manipulated me. Maya pulled her arm away. You're not a victim, Jess, Maya said, her voice dropping to a whisper that the mic still picked up. You're just the other woman. And now, you're welcome to him. The chaos was absolute. The priest had closed his book and stepped back, looking horrified. Maya folded the papers. She looked at Caleb one last time. He was standing in a puddle of water, his hair messed up, his face red with humiliation. He looked small. I, Maya, she said, take myself. To have and to hold, to love and to cherish, from this day forward. She turned around. She didn't run. She didn't cry. She walked back down the aisle. The photographer, confused but professional, snapped a photo. It would later become viral. A photo of a bride in a stunning white dress walking away from the altar with a fierce, triumphant smile, while behind her, the groom and maid of honor stood in the ruins of their social lives. Maya's father caught up to her at the doors. "Let's go, Dad," she said. "I'm starving, and the food here is prepaid." They didn't have the reception, obviously, but Maya didn't go home and cry. She invited her parents and her close, loyal friends to the hotel bar. She changed out of her wedding dress into jeans and a t-shirt that said "Bride," which she promptly crossed out with a black marker to read "Free." They drank the expensive wine. They ate the appetizers. Caleb tried to enter the hotel lobby an hour later. Maya's father had instructed security to bar him. Caleb stood outside the glass doors, banging on them, screaming. Maya watched him from the lobby bar, sipping a dirty martini. "He looks like a fish in a tank," she observed. "A piranha with no teeth," her mother corrected, clinking glasses. The fallout was nuclear. Because Maya had sent the emails to everyone, the story spread. Caleb. His boss didn't like scandal, especially scandals involving fraud. Use her money. Caleb was fired on Monday morning for conduct unbecoming. He tried to sue Maya for defamation. He lost. Truth is an absolute defense. He was socially ostracized. In their tight-knit city, he became a pariah. Jessica. She lost her job as a schoolteacher, not because of the affair directly, but because the parents of the students found out and petitioned the board. Small towns talk. She tried to call Maya for months. Maya blocked her on everything. Last Maya heard, Jessica and Caleb tried to date. It lasted 3 months. Without the thrill of the secret and without Maya's money, they hated each other. Maya. She went on her honeymoon alone, 2 weeks in Bora Bora. She drank cocktails, read books, and flirted with a scuba instructor named Luca. She sat on the beach one evening watching the sunset. She had lost a fiancé. She had lost a best friend. She had lost $40,000, her share of the wedding. But as she dug her toes into the sand, she realized what she had gained. She had her dignity. She had her future, and she had a hell of a story. She pulled out her phone. She opened Instagram. She posted the photo of her walking away from the altar, the chaos blurred in the background. Caption. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. Cheers to new beginnings. She hit post. She put the phone down, closed her eyes, and listened to the ocean. It was the sweetest sound she had ever heard.